Grapefruit League pitchers and catchers are finding their ways to spring training this week, but the hard truth is the big leaguers are already a step behind because Shooter Hunt has been there and done that when it comes to the Sunshine State, and he has the toll receipts to prove it. Welcome into Coffee and Curveballs, Cory McCartney and the aforementioned Shooter Hunt with you. And Shooter, we've got our focus on the Florida Preseason Classic. It's an event that featured a whopping 9 teams in Prep Baseball Florida's Power 25, including the numbers 1s and 2s in Trinity Christian and IMG Academy, and an event that has proven a jumping off point for first round draft picks in recent years.
Yeah, the ninth year, this event's outstanding at this point. Top MLB draft prospects kind of kicking things off. Every year I go to it, there's more and more MLB scouts. There are over 100 this year sitting at IMG with me. I don't know how those kids step in the box with that many eyes on them. So shout out to those guys. But then you think about the teams where you had IMG there, you talk about Trinity Christian Academy, 2 schools that have a chance to win a national title this year. Towson Venice, who looked great. All the programs there were really good. And the kids kind of looked like they were in mid-season form, which was really outstanding to see. The coaches were getting after it too.
So let's open up with those players who could well hear their names called in this summer's MLB draft and start with Mulberry's Nick Partridge, a Florida signee at shortstop. Last year hit .457 and then showed some serious play discipline. He had a mere 6 strikeouts to go with 31 walks in 2024.
He's one of those guys, and I was really impressed. It's a swing we've loved for a while, kind of less heralded outside the fact that he's a top under prospect for us for a while now at Mulberry High School, but the kid can really hit. And I always look for guys who can really slow things in the box, not sped up by really good arms. The bat the ball it really stands out there. The barrel accuracy, quick hands, can turn the barrel. It's about 6', 175. Still kind of a developing frame, but he jumped into a ball, hit a home run to kind of cap off his weekend. The hands really work at shortstop. I don't know if the foot speed will allow him to stick it short long term, but I think the frame will continue to get more physical in the future. And I think all those Florida area guys are going to continue going in and seeing, hey, we're going to push in because this guy can really hit. I think you could hear his name kind of grab some buzz into that late day one, if not higher at some point.
So there's no surprise that IMG Academy, which has had 12 alumni picked in the top 3 rounds since 2019, has 2 players here. Second baseman Sean Gamble, outfielder Dean Moss. Gamble, the Vanderbilt signee, brings some prodigious power with 103 exit velos, and Moss has an extremely full toolbox. Gamble sits number 3 in Florida. Moss is number 2.
Yeah, and I was talking with some of the guys there because they've been on the circuit for so long and kind of famous names for a while. I think there is some scout fatigue seeing those guys, but they really can produce. And I think we flipped them in the rankings, I feel like almost each time because they're similar but very different, where Dean Moss kind of, not that he's a finished product, but the production is always there. And he did the same thing in these 2 days down at IMG. The bat to ball is there, sneaky power, did a really nice job in center field, going 100 at all times. It's like you just come to expect it, kind of similar to what we saw from Derek Curiel, who was at Orange Lutheran out in Southern California, another LSU kid who's going to have a big freshman year. It's just like you kind of expect it. It's a professional at bat versus Gamble, who, hey, the upside's clearly there. What's the position going to be? Did a nice job at second base, can also go out the center field, looked more physical. I thought that Gamble took some great swings. His BP sessions, one of the better swings in the class, just tightly connected, bat to ball. The power's there. I think it's going to develop even more so. And I think the fact that he played a really nice second base throughout the weekend will be helpful throughout the year. But those 2 guys are really a great luxury to have at the top of the order for IMG. You can only imagine stepping out to the mound, leadoff hitter Dean Moss, on deck Sean Gamble, like not very easy to go through. And that lineup really went 1 through 9. But I think that Sean Gamble may have a chance to really continue to rise throughout this spring if the pitch decisions and the plate discipline continues to excel, because I think that power will come throughout the year. And then Dean Moss, you just expect it. Dude steps on the field and gets 2 hits.
Another Moss, and one that we just saw at Super 60, is Arnold's Cooper Moss. A lot to like out of the state's second-ranked right-handed pitcher. Former junior feature gamer, stands 6'2", 200, wheels a fastball into the 90s, who can spin an impressive curveball.
Just an absolute bulldog. And you talked about it, come up to the Super 60, nice bullpen. It's a full stretch setup and look. He went up against Trinity Christian Academy in the nightcap. Trinity Christian 1 through 9, one of the best lineups, if not the best lineup in the country with regards to high school programs. and he just dominated. I think he had 21 whiffs, 11 strikeouts in 5 1/3 innings, no walks, 1 hit, no runs. I mean, just got after it and really to set the tone for the spring. A guy who the bright lights were on. I love this. Like, you get luck is when opportunity meets preparation. This guy was prepared for this opportunity, stepped on the field and put out. I'm excited to see what happens with him. There may be a risk for some reliever profile there, but it was 3 pitches for strikes, was able to get those swings and misses in the zone, especially with the fastball. But I can only say great things about what Cooper Moss brought to the diamond that night, because everybody was there to kind of watch Trinity Christian, and Cooper Moss said, no, I'm that dude.
We hit Tampa's Plant High School with alumni like Pete Alonso, Wade Boggs, and comedian Gallagher, the guy that used to bust up watermelons, with a sledgehammer to talk about outfielder Cash Strayer, a Florida signee who sits at 9th in the state.
Yeah, and Plant High School, like you just said, is a legendary program there on the west coast of Florida. And I got a chance to go over and see him, just kind of lucked into seeing this game. Really like what he was about, 6'2", 195. It's just a great looking frame. Athletic, goes out in the center field, tracking side to side. The closing speed was there. The bat, the ball, historically in the past, he's done a great job. Like, just continues to produce. I think there's some pull side power there. Kind of one of those buzzier names who, hey, if it's an early day 2 guy, if he really shines this spring, but if not, heading to Gainesville, I would have that guy circled as one to watch very closely in the future.
Turning towards the 2026, as Trinity Christian, as I mentioned, sits atop the Florida Power 25 for good reason. And 2 of those reasons are topics here. Right-hander Ethan Wheeler, a Florida signee and a Prep Baseball All-American back in September, brings a ton of spin off a fastball into the 90s. And LSU-bound shortstop Jordan Martinez, a feature gamer that has exit velos up to 106.3 in Carolina 667.
Yeah, that Trinity Christian, we could talk about that junior class for a full episode with Brady Harris kind of leading the way in center field there as well. But Ethan Wheeler came into that nightcap against Arnold and just flat out dominated for 3 innings, struck out 7. It was whiff city. I mean, just absolute swords with the slider. And he just continues to pitch with that up-tempo confidence. Ball's coming out of the hand well. I think he's up 93, maybe 94 in that game, but it was really the slider that helped separate him. I think he's only going to get better. He's really conscious of what he does on the mound and what his pitches are able to do, crafts them well, pounds the zone, sets stuff up, and then looks to embarrass guys late. And they talk about Jordan Martinez, he's just that dude. Right, he steps up to the plate. Oh, this guy plays shortstop. This guy, I mean, in the summer when they're going East Coast Pro and stuff. Oh, this guy's a better shortstop. And then it ends up being like, no, you're not going to outpace Jordan Martinez. He's just going to beat you head to head at all times. Home run, triple, finds the barrel, late in counts, he battles. It's a powerful frame. And it's just one of those guys, you just don't bet against them. He's going to find a way to do it. And he's going to continue to gain suitors because he produces. And against good arms, he does a great job.
We know the products that have come out of the renowned Wake Forest pitching lab, but they have to be salivating over signee Jake Carball out of Plant City. Slider already over 2,600 for this 6'5" righty who's ranked 4th at the position in the state.
And it was a really cool workout. I got to go over and see Jake Carball. Incredible weather, Corey. It was 80 plus. It was not Chicago cold out there with some snow. It was gorgeous. So got to see Carball 90-92. It's a super low slot, one of those unique low vertical or flatter vertical approaches. I think you get even more ride in the future, which I'm sure the lab would have some notes on that situation. But excellent changeup, the slider. All the pitches and the profiles, the 6'4" frame that really stands out. I mean, he was towering over me he and Chase Mobley were standing there together, which was outstanding to see. But 3 pitches, pounded the zone from pitch 1. He was facing some really good professional guys in the box and was not scared. There's some moxie to what he brings to the mound. He's going to go out there, hunt the zone, get ahead, try to put guys away late. I think the changeup has a chance to be a plus pitch in the near future, but circle that name, whole scouting community. This is a 2026 arm who has a chance to really blow up next summer and be an upper echelon guy when thinking ahead to the 2026 MLB draft.
Florida's class of 2027 holds some serious sway nationally. You're talking about 6 players in the top 25, including 2 within the top 10. And as we turn our attention to the class, there is no better place to start than the top. Lincoln's Chase Fuller, the #1 player in the state, #3 in the nation. We've talked for a long time about what makes him special at the plate, on the mound. What were the impressions as you got your eyes on the Florida State commit for the first time since the summer?
Right. We've all heard about Chase Fuller. He's outstanding, does great stuff. What I was most impressed with, the defense has really ticked up. He played shortstop, looked even better there. Keep kind of attributing him to kind of similar to Jordan Lawler, who came out of Dallas Jesuit. I think that was a 22 draft. He was a first rounder back then. But I thought his defense from a year ago at this event to where he was this year had made huge strides. So he's definitely put in the work there, which is going to be a huge advantage for him, the ability to stick at shortstop long term. And then you talk about what he did at the plate. He just barrel after barrel, late in counts. The physicality is there. He showed off a monster home run throughout the week. Oh, yeah. Then he hops on the mounds, 90 and 94, good changeup, slider, which I think more than anything, that just shows off his competitive nature. Like that's to me, the fallback for him as a right-handed arm. He's still one of the elite guys in the class, but him at shortstop, the bat, the ball has huge upside. I was really impressed with what he did last year, but especially where he's gone to this year. And I'm excited about the future.
With Venice's Graham Houston, who's 6th in the state and 21st nationally, you're talking about a shortstop that can flat out hit from both sides of the plate. And he has the benefit of being able to lean on a guy who has been there, done that with his brother, Wake Forest Jr. Merrick.
I mean, can you imagine those defensive sessions, the brother defensive sessions? I don't know if dad's hitting fungos, whoever it is, but the two of them getting after it defensively, because they're both wizards with the glove. I think Graham's, I remember seeing Merrick at this same age. Graham's way more advanced at the plate than what Merrick was at this time. Switch hitter, right-handed swings a little bit ahead of a left-handed swing, although the bat the ball is clearly there, takes some great at-bats. They're both outstanding. I thought from what I saw in the summer with that Canes national team that was loaded to what he's gotten to now, he's definitely made a jump. And that Venice program in general is just I was really impressed with the way they coach the game, the way they played the game, they get after it, almost had a feel of a Southern California high school program, which was cool to see down in Florida because they know how to play the game. He played second base because got some older guys who are really good at playing shortstop in that lineup, but he'll eventually sift over there as one of the premier shortstops in this class.
We have again reached the IMG portion of our programming, and there's a mainstay in these Florida conversations, lefty Kyler Message, who's 9th in the state and 35th national. A name we all know, Frankie Thomas. That's Frank Thomas, third, the folks, as in the son of the Hall of Famer, and a shortstop that is opening some eyes in Juan Diaz.
So what's cool about this event, there's two games going on, right? IMG is an incredible facility. You have kind of the stadium where some of the draft guys, and then right behind the IMG Black team or whatever they're called, because they're really good too, which is where Frankie Thomas is at, Juan Diaz. So I'm going back and forth, trying to get a little breezeway to see both games at the same time, which was really cool to see. But Frankie Thomas, different than his dad, he's a left-handed stroke. It's super smooth and easy. I was kind of envisioning Andrew Wiggins, who's at Indiana right now, is going to have a big year. Kind of similar to that. The ball comes off the bat really well. He can move it around the field, covers the plate, good athlete. Juan Diaz was a revelation for me. I had not heard of him. Switch hitter, looks the part shortstop during the workouts, which IMG does a great job of. Getting a chance to see, like, this guy knows what he's doing. The bat, the ball, quick hands, but can obviously really pick it out there. I'm excited to see him throughout the summer, potentially at the future games. We'll see about that. And then Kyler Message, who I think has a chance to be one of the best players in this class. He hops on the mound. He's 88 to 90. Also can go track in the outfield. He's 6'3". He's left-handed. He can swing it. You kind of bet on those athletes. I think he has one of the higher ceilings in this class. And I was really blown away by what I saw from him on the mound and how he approached the game, the plan he had out there, the pitch arsenal, and really the upside. It is a quick arm. Get used to hearing about Kyler Message.
I know 2028 had your attention. Venice right-hander Cohen Poplin sits 13th in Florida, 83rd nationally. Already into the 90s with a fastball. Looks like that slider could be a real weapon.
Yeah, I mean, again, that Venice team was just really awesome to see there. They also had a kid, RJ Shields, who was a good-looking sophomore, got after it late into a game. But Cohen Poplin moves really well. It's a whippy arm, super efficient, gets down the mound well, has feel for spin. He got thrown into a game late, and I mean, he's a freshman, big-time program. They have prospects all over their team. You're going up against a really good lineup on the opposing side with all these scouts behind it. He did a great job hopping in there. I think it's a big upside. I'm excited to see him for the next 4 years.
Finally, because we all want to know the real dirt, what was the best thing Shooter Hunt ate while he was in Florida?
Oh, shoot. The best thing in Florida, there was a place called Olivia's in Tampa. Outstanding. Right. I think I got the veal parm there.
Okay. He is Prep Baseball's road warrior, and he is just getting started as the 2025 high school season gets underway. We'll have plenty more coffee and curveballs coming your way, so keep it locked right here. Until next time, I'm Cory McCartney, that's Shooter Hunt, and we'll see you at the Diamond.